I mein, Adrian McCann, you know, I brought you back here, Adrian McCann. We're going to talk about my favorite subject was Barack Obama. I got this thing for Barack because I just want to put Barack in perspective. And I've been, people like, they get mad, they think I've been criticizing Barack for years. And I'm not criticizing Barack. I met him years ago. He's a really nice guy. I just want to put in perspective, understand we're being used by the media. But let me just say this real quick. You believe that when the deal go down, white folks ain't, the majority of white people are not going to vote for Barack Obama. Are you going to be right? I'm going to be right.
You know what? I can only go by what I've lived.
That's right.
Okay, and born and raised here in the city of Chicago.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had that test before. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We had a bunch of white folk that came out and spoke real highly of Harold Washington.
Right.
When the black community stood and said, "This is going to be our person." Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody know how that came out. He ran against some guy now by the name of, I can't even hardly remember his name right now. Bernard Epton.
Bernard Epton, yeah. He was a Republican.
Nobody, Republican.
Yeah, from where I don't know.
And here we are in a democratic town, nothing but Democrats, okay?
Right.
And I'm telling you, if it wasn't that the black community, the sleeping giant, had woken, and we had a heck of a turnout, okay, Harold probably wouldn't have been the mayor. If the blacks hadn't came out in the great numbers as they did, because all them white Democrats in this town, when they went back in that booth, they decided there's going to be Republicans for that day.
That was still that was a different era, and that was different white folks. And most of those white folks who voted against Harold Washington over 20 years ago, they left Chicago. They don't live here no more, right?
Well, that's what they say. A lot of them still vote here, though. But but basically, our other segment, we're talking about the racism, okay, and the bigotry on the fire department, okay?
Right.
These minds don't change. I tried to show you that those that brought the negative comments about us, about what we were talking about, the history of the fire department, 5,000 firemen, to this day, firemen and paramedics, to this day still, out of 5,000, only 500 are black. And in this city, great city of Chicago, it brings us to an issue. When Mayor Daley ran for re-election, Barack Obama endorsed Daley.
Right.
Okay. Time for change.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Time for change. So he endorses Daley.
Right.
Well, a little history on Daley. Okay. We have a lawsuit right now with those numbers I gave you: 5,000 firemen, only 500 firemen and paramedics, only 500 are African Americans.
Right.
We have a lawsuit we won a year ago. 11-year lawsuit we won. The city is still refusing to do what the court said. The court said hire 132 more black firefighters. Well, that's insulting to us, and I can't really understand it. Only 132 they asked them to hire.
The city of Chicago spent tax dollars to fight the black firemen for 11 years.
Yes.
In a lawsuit with lawyers. Now, lawyers cost money.
Yes.
For 11 years, only to hire 132 more African Americans.
Well, the court only said hire 132 more, and we can move on about our business, okay?
And they fought
but he refuses to hire 132 blacks. Well, Barack Obama, I mean, come on, these are your friends.
Right.
We should say, lighten up on the black community,
right,
Mr. Daley, okay? Because it is time for change.
But Barack Obama didn't do that.
He didn't, okay? But again, as intelligent blacks in this town, we were all supposed to understand that he had to vote for Daley because he was going for a position called President of the United States, and he needed that support.
Right.
Well, come on, don't get no fake support. Show us you really support Barack Obama, okay? So this is why, back to your original question, I don't know.
But the bottom line, you don't see. And no, let's say Barack. Let's assume we don't know what's going to happen because when it's time this show come on TV, we don't know what's going on. But the point is that let's say Barack wins the Democratic nominee. He's a nominee. And you don't think in November, when it comes to choice between John McCain and Barack Obama, that the majority of European Americans, i.e. Caucasians, will vote for John McCain?
I honestly feel that. I feel once they go in that curtain, they're going to vote their white interests, and they're going to make sure that whatever Barack's plan is, okay, that is not implemented.
But you would agree that some white folks, most white people like Barack because his mama was white. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't know about that. Okay, we still come from an era. They say if you got an ounce of black blood in you, you're black.
Yeah, but some of the younger Caucasians, European Americans, don't have the racial bigotry or baggage of their grandparents and their parents. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, back to this fire department thing, okay? I mean, you saw how they came.
These are young people in
These
the
are
fire
young
department. They
people
were
right
mad
now.
at me and Captain McCann.
Well, I mean, for speaking on the issue.
Yeah.
And the issue is, hey, we need more of them jobs in our community, okay? As you go through our community, we don't see firemen living on our blocks. We don't see police living on our blocks, okay? Water department workers and all. We are scarcely throughout the community, okay? So what we're saying is, if they got an attitude where they can't see a good plan like that, they can't see that we fighting for the betterment of our people,
Right.
trying to bring them on board to make them productive, okay? They refuse to understand that, and they still want to live in the past like their granddaddies and their great-granddaddies. We may have a problem election day.
But Israel McCann, before we end this segment, do you think that, see, my whole thing is that you have the older white people who are like, let's say 50 and over, maybe 40 and over, who remember the good old days when black folks knew their place. But the younger people don't have the baggage. Now this is what I'm saying to say all of this. A lot of people want Barack Obama to win and become the next president because they really hope that Barack Obama, because his mother's white and his father's a black African, that he can bring the races together, all the different races, especially black and white. Do you think that Barack Obama is going to create some racial healing in America?
You know, I'd like to really first comment on this. His mama white, his daddy black. Okay? Me as a black person, and most black people, we don't even think about that. Okay,
Right.
That's not an issue with us, but yeah, it is an issue with white people.
It is
okay?
white folks. It is. Yeah.
So there may be some anger because his mama was white and his daddy was black. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
that's true.
So again, you know, I mean, I can comment on it. Okay, but it makes
So racial
no
healing. Do
difference.
you think he's going to heal the races?
Well, I mean, you know what? It's something that could be done, but still, I just don't think that they're ready to play yet. Okay.